Pacheco for CageMinds.com. Today my guest, Eric Martinez. IMI Group, their first event, May 9th, Camel Rock Casino, Rumble at the Rock. They're doing boxing, Tony Valdez, Angelo Leo, the Sanchez brothers on the card. Eric, thank you for your time. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be able to kick off our first event and working with you on some of this exposure.
So, tell us a little bit about you and why you're getting into promoting boxing.
All right. Well, this started off about a year ago. I was approached by Tony Valdez and also Angelo Leo and his father, and they basically were explaining to me some of the challenges that they were having in the industry. And quite honestly, I was more into investments and business and things like that. And so, but I overheard what they were saying, and it was a little concerning for me. I overheard, some of the paychecks and what was being paid. Felt that the numbers were kind of low. So I said, I told Tony and Angelo, I said, I'm willing to jump into the industry and really help you guys out, but with the understanding that anything that I develop, typically I'm looking to really be a legacy in any type of industry that I go into, whether it be investments or boxing. So in speaking with them, I told them, what is it that can help this sport, and what do you think would be intriguing as far as bringing on, some of the top boxers in the industry and in northern New Mexico. And really, it went back to the pay. And so I started looking at it and really working down the numbers and really recognized that it was pretty easy for me to jump in, grab some of the top fighters, especially with Tony and Angelo, and create a pay scale to where I could be paying fighters 30 to 40% higher than anyone else in the industry based off of the numbers that they were paid on their last fight. So, jumped into the athletic commission, got my promoter's license, and they're helping us with the sanctioning of our events, and really kind of went from there. It really kind of blossomed from there, and just got a lot of exciting people calling us and asking us about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and it's been exciting, so we're having fun.
A couple weeks away from the event now, what are you guys hoping to present and put out there for the fans with this inaugural event?
Well, with some of the fighters that we're bringing in, we got folks coming in from Valdez and different areas. We're bringing in some pretty tough opponents. So we're structuring some of our like the fight with Tony and Angelo coming up. Their fighters or their opponents are going to be some of the top in the industry. I've been working with some of the trainers that have been talking to me about who they're considering bringing on board. And these fights are going to be probably one of the most unpredictable fights that they've ever had in their careers. And, that's going to be a lot of the excitement as to what they bring for this event. Tony Valdez, of course, brings a high exposure and popularity out of the Espanola area. And with Angelo, Angelo's got a high fan rate in the Albuquerque area. And they kind of bring, some of the Tony brings a New Mexico flavor, and really Angelo brings more of the Mexican crowd. And so we're cohesively really having a all market of it where people from any area of the country are really going to appreciate what they bring to the table. But the fights themselves are going to be exciting to anything that's going to be within this month. In some cases, fights are somewhat predictable. In this case, these guys are going to be matched up pretty well.
There's been a feeling on some fight cards to kind of look at it and you know which half of the fight card is gonna win. So, in you dealing with the fighters, talking about these tougher matchups, what was their feelings, either if they gave any about those previous matchups or situations, or towards taking this step up in caliber of competition?
Well, Tony, he's been in the game for a little bit longer, and you see that in his records. And not to ever say that he's had easy fights in the past, but he is certainly to the point where we don't know when he's going to want to give up boxing, but he really wants to show his fans that he's out there to really giving it all he's got till the very tail end of his career, and he knows that the only way that the sales are going to be good and the friendship is going to be appreciated is if he takes on some of these tougher matches. Angelo Leo, he's got quite a bit of a career left. He's only 20 years old currently, and so he's got a lot more years to go. And he knows that he's developing. He wants to be a world champ, and I've spoken with him on many occasions, and so. In wanting to do that, you got some of the excitement coming up in Vegas near the same time. He sees the caliber of fights that gets him to that type of level. And so these guys are both excited. And then with, Xavier and the Sanchez brothers, they're recognizing it and really saying, you know what, at some point we need to get to that level as well. And so they're really fired up and excited. So, these guys are wanting to take their careers to the next level, and in doing so, it has to be a tough fight.
We're a month out from the event, roughly. It's a little over weeks. When are you hoping to have the contracts in place and be putting out a fight card that's in place?
I anticipate that probably over the next week. I'm hoping a week from today, maybe sooner. We're getting some of the administrative stuff done and making sure that we can roll that out and broadcast it. So that's my goal. But as you know, in the industry, things can always change. Things happen, and some fighters have to pull out. That's so we have to have an ample amount of fighters so everyone's prepared. But that's basically my goal at this point, Mike, and really making sure that we have this prepared because a lot of our sponsors and the casino itself want to know exactly who we have on these cards.
And then you said broadcasting. Are we hoping to get some kind of live stream at this event, or what are the tentative plans right now?
We don't have it locked down just yet, but that is one of our goals as well. As far as getting that out there, I can't publicly say that we have it in place already. But it's certainly one of our goals because with this event being 18 and older, some of our younger fans out of Espanola and Santa Fe and Albuquerque are unable to come to the event, which is unfortunate. But we want them to be able to stream and be able to see this event. So we're trying to look out for our little fans too.
Well, right now we got the billboard up. I know you guys were out doing some stuff at some local functions. Right now, still a month out, what's the response looking like from the community, and what have the ticket sales been like so far starting out here?
Well, we're probably, as far as our premiums, we're getting pretty close to sold out on those. Some of our general admission, we're probably closer to about 20 to 30% sold on those, which doesn't really concern me because we got some time. Now, as far as, really getting out there for the fans, we're going to be in Espanola this Sunday from 1 to 3 in the plaza area. We'll have a boxing ring up. We'll have an outdoor workout where the guys will be out there. We'll also be having another event in Milwaukee the following weekend. And then we'll be at a car show in Espanola on, I believe, the 2nd of May for that. So we got a lot of exposure out there. We're also potentially looking at doing an event at Pro Ranch Market and really getting some exposure out there to our fans and giving them the opportunity to be able to purchase tickets.
So, for you, in dealing with this, what's been the biggest unforeseen obstacle so far in becoming a promoter?
The initial kickoff, we did a lot of due diligence as far as being prepared for this fight. We wanted to make sure that we weren't in conflict with anyone else in the market. Of course, as many know in the newspapers and different publications, that another fight ended up being down the road, which was somewhat of a challenge because we announced our event. We called all the different casinos to make sure that no one else was fighting on the night, and the only one that I saw that was really going on is, of course, the Canelo fight. But we didn't see anything else in the state. Kept on going, got our billboards up, and ended up having one right down the road. So it's not really a big conflict for me at this point, because everybody wants to see Tony, wants to see Angelo, and quite honestly, my first event is not the expectation of profiting to the highest levels, because it's more about the fighters. The fighters need to be paid, and so if I had to point out any type of obstacle, it would probably be that in having two fights within a short distance.
Last weekend, when I met you at the Josh Torres Ronnie Ganoy fight, they recognized all the fighters. Tony Valdez gets in the ring and says the reason to come to your guys' fight card is because you won't be able to predict the winners before you get there. So, it sounded kind of like shots fired from him towards the other promotion. Have you had any conversation with him about that? His feelings, or that he was going to say that? Anything to that degree?
I talked to him about it. I don't feel like he was out of alignment. We're certainly not trying to, de-edify anyone else, whether it be, another promoter. That's certainly not our goal. And I just told him to be very careful next time. But at the same token, that's really what the appealing portion of our fight is that, these are going to be some really tough fights. And with, some of these guys that are on our card already, it's already looking that way. And so, it wasn't concerning to me, although, I just wanted to be, noted that we're not out to making anyone look bad. But, there are other fights that go on in the industry that, like you said earlier, that are somewhat predictable, and you kind of know that the person that's being promoted is probably going to win. And so, for us, it's not to tear anyone else's building down. It's really building a bigger building than anyone else in the city.
Not wanting to focus on what other people didn't do, but I gotta commend you guys for the things you are doing. Like you said, you've already gone out once and hit the pavement promoting the event. God, it already sounds like 3 events up in Espanola set up to get out there. How much of the promoting the event, as you as a fan were able, before getting into being a promoter, looked at it and said, wow, there's a lot more word of mouth. There's just a lot more promotion that could be done to events.
Yeah, we being new to this, we did some evaluation. I've got a marketing background, and we've been pretty strategic on our exposure. But just alone with jumping into an event such as this, the word of mouth made a lot of the promotion a lot easier because of Angelo and Tony and the Sanchez brothers and Pacheco. So, that portion of it made it so easy because we don't really have to go out there and try and shake hands to make ticket sales. People are calling us constantly for tickets. Tony is being Facebooked probably every 5 minutes, just asking, can you meet me in town to buy tickets, or can your promoter call me? And Angelo is getting the same response on Facebook. And so with social media, that's the cheapest way for any type of promotions or any type of marketing. So social media makes it a lot easier as far as the communication with our fans, and the word of mouth has been just easy because of the clout that these gentlemen bring to the industry.
And then, I know we're trying to get to the first event, but I'm going to ask, what's the goal post this event? What are you guys hoping to do for 2015? What are you hoping for?
Well, in speaking with the commission, when we're preparing for, approving our fight, they asked me that same exact question, and really, we're already in the process of preparing for another fight. This will be probably in Albuquerque in July. I don't have a confirmed date yet, but I'm working with some partners and things where we're looking at, the potential of doing it every 60 days, is having a fight every 60 days. But in result, maybe towards the tail end of this year, we hope to have a fight every 30 days. And so there's a lot of kids coming out of the amateurs that we're really trying to support and really get them up to the next level and really supporting the boxing industry. And so we want these kids to be able to have a career, get paid higher than what, some of the past guys have been paid, and really get them to where they have several options to be able to have a fight 12 times a year. They have different options. So that's the end goal for the year. Although the first initial event that will follow this will be in July.
For IMI Group, are you guys strictly a boxing promoter, or are you going to go into other events, or what is the status on that?
I was talking to my good friend Carlos Medina. He's a very popular comedian out of Albuquerque, and we were talking about maybe incorporating comedy at some point. He'll be playing some music for our weigh-ins because he's too busy for Saturday night the 9th. Not to say that we can't do that. It'd be exciting, but our first focus is going to always be boxing, because I've been approached by a couple of different organizations, and they're saying, with your popularity, we'd like to consider doing something else. And bike rallies and things like that. And I said, well, I'm just getting my feet wet. I appreciate the compliments, but I really want to stick to boxing, and then maybe we can consider something down the road.
And then, do we have it locked in, the time for the weigh-ins on the 8th?
Yes, we sure do. It'll be at the Camel Rock Casino ballroom, and that's going to be at 2 p.m. on May 8th. I tried to push it to 4, but my fighters got really upset with me because they said, man, we don't eat until we're done. So it was...
You could tell them 8 a.m. and they would be all too happy.
Yeah, I told them 4 and they almost strangled me in the gym. But I said, okay, I'll bring it down to 2. Because we want it to be fun. People, around 5, in the afternoon on a Friday, people are wanting to get into happy hour and whatnot and enjoy themselves. So we want to make a good event as well. So, 2 o'clock on the 8th, May 8th.
And then, what's the last message that you got for the fans to really make your mark coming in with this inaugural event and welcome them out to your event?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't catch the tail end of what you just said.
Oh, what do you got to say for this to try to get them out to this inaugural event, and how you guys are going to make a mark with this event?
Well, I mean, how we do anything is how we do everything, and that's something that I believe in as far as business. And really, the legacy that we're going to leave off of this organization and IMI Group is based off our integrity. And the fans have seen that already. And really, I want to make sure that we show the integrity of the boxers and also our marketing staff and team. And so, really, what they'll see from this point forward is that a lot of people are going to be very intrigued to work with IMI Group in future projects. So, it's going to be very appealing to our fans that we'll have a steady fan base, that they know that every fight that we pull from this point forward is going to have full quality on both sides of the ring. And so I think that's going to be probably the biggest selling point, the unique selling proposition as far as what IMI stands for and what we are based on. And so the fans will see it that night and from this point forward.
I gotta thank you for the time, Eric. I'm excited. May 9th, Camel Rock Casino. Rumble at the Rock, Tony Valdez, Angelo Leo, Jose Luis Sanchez, Jason Sanchez, possibly Alan Sanchez, Xavier Pacheco. Promising some top-notch opponents. We got a month out, people. Get your tickets. Look forward to being there. Thank you, Eric, for the time.
All right. Thank you, Mike. God bless everyone.